Salmon of knowledge, it's a 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 salmon of knowledge podcast. Boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, ch, boom, boom, boom. It's Christmas time. There's every reason to be afraid. This Christmas time, we let in light and we banish shade, just like a curtain. That is how it works. Throw your arms around the world at Christmas time, but stay away. Stay 6 foot from the world and wear a mask, 'cause you don't want any COVID getting on the world. There's a glass screen between you and the world, and it's a screen for your own safety. And the only waters flowing are the soapy ones on your hands. And you sing happy birthday twice to be safe. Hey, Salmon Skins, welcome and Merry Christmas, or Happy Christmas, as we say in Ireland. I mean, some people say Merry Christmas. I say Merry Christmas because, you know, I guess I've been Americanized. So, Merry Christmas, y'all. And Happy New Year. I'm an American man, and this is how I talk. So, guys, look, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. And if you disagree with me, then why don't you hate listen the previous episode of this podcast, which is simply entitled Die Hard Sleeps with the Fishes. Yes, I'm doing a series. I started with The Irishman. I'll have another one next week. And I'll probably have an extra one for the Patreons. I know I will have an extra one for the Patreons. Because, you know, what else am I going to be doing? Except hanging around, recording podcasts and putting them out into the world. Because it's Christmas time. But it doesn't really feel like Christmas. It's not like a regular Christmas. This is a different Christmas. You know, hashtag new normal. Hashtag so sick of hashtags. I'm so sick of Twitter as well. I only read Twitter just to kind of hate read tweets from people I don't like. And that's not really what it should be about. I think Instagram is probably better. I mean, it's all pretty much the same. I haven't gone near TikTok. A few people said, you got to get on TikTok or you got to put that on TikTok. And I don't want to put anything on TikTok or even TikTok. TikTok is the new app where people chew things and go, oh, it's all tacky. What was that? That was not even an improv. That was terrible. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. I apologize. I should come up with better stuff than that. Am I too far away from the microphone? Should I move in a little bit? Why is it so low? Why is it so low? I gotta turn it up. It's up as far as it'll go. I just gotta get closer to the microphone. I turned it up and I turned it down. I turned it all the way around and around. Gotta rhyme things as quickly as possible. What rhymes with possible? That's impossible. That's almost the same word, but I used it in the context that made sense. So I guess I won't be kicked off the improv team. Ba-ba-ba-ba, do you know what I mean? And I'm kicking it off the improv team. Yes, and I'll still be on the team next year. You will absolutely have no fear when you see me, because I'm not that frightening or intimidating. So guys, I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing fine. I'm not struggling at all. In any kind of way, and I'm not singing out loud. I'm just saying that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, and I will defend that for about 3 minutes until I just give up and go, whatever, who cares? If you think it is, then it is. I tell you one thing, it's a much better shout than some Christmas movies that I have never seen but assume are terrible, like the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, whose show Home Improvement I very much enjoyed when it was on TV. I don't know what his new show is like, where I think it's called, is it Last Man Standing or something? The premise of the show is, which just kind of goes to show you how old-fashioned Tim Allen is, because the premise of the show is, and I say old-fashioned in lieu of another word, which could be right-leaning, and that's fine. Look, Clint Eastwood is right-leaning, and I love Clint Eastwood. I don't care what he does. I don't care if he talks to an invisible Obama in a chair. And, hey, look, if he can see him, I believe him, because he's made great movies and has the power of imagination, more so than most people. But Tim Allen in this Last Man Standing sitcom, the premise of it, the hilarious premise of this sitcom is that he's a man, right? Okay, wait. He's married to a woman. Okay, wait for it. But he's also got daughters. So he's surrounded by women. And that's hilarious because he's a man and he loves guns and cars and cocaine. But not anymore. The voice of Buzz Lightyear was once arrested for cocaine possession. And look, he's atoned for his sins. That's fine. That's a minor crime. And quite rightly, he gets to work on and do other stuff. If you do it like a drug-related crime, that's fine. As long as you're not murdering people or drugging people and sexually abusing them, then, No, I'm not saying... as long as you're not doing those horrible, horrible things. Of course, crimes are crimes. But crimes against people and just, crimes against drug laws are different. I'm to be honest, that's just my own personal feelings on drugs. I think you should, like the Die Hard movie. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie? If you believe it is, then it is. If you don't think it is, then it's not. If you want to do drugs, go ahead. If you don't want to do drugs, that's also fine. And that's always been my attitude. And that's always the attitude that I found growing up. I was kind of, I came late to drinking alcohol. I was like 16 when I started drinking alcohol. And I also started drinking alcohol. But to a lot of Irish people, that's like, that's like being 30 years old and drinking for the first time. Even though our legal drinking age is 18, you can't drink until you're 18. But a lot of people start way earlier than that. A lot of my friends started drinking when they were like 12, 13. And I just wanted to be a kid for a while. And I didn't drink. And now a lot of them have turned into professional alcoholics. So, joke's on me. They're getting paid to slowly degrade their liver over a number of years. But, Tim Allen, Last Man Standing. I've never seen it. He's a man surrounded by women and he can't cope. And that's hilarious for some reason. Well, fair play to him. It's not something I've watched this year. I guess I could do my rundown of highlights of the year. Highlights of the year. This is the highlights of the year. It's lovely. Highlights of the year. What did he like? What didn't he like? Now, I think you probably know some stuff I didn't like. I didn't like The Undoing. I went into detail on that. But one thing I did like was The Queen's Gambit, which a lot of people have come out as saying it's one of their best of the years. And obviously a lot of things have been delayed because of the pandemic 2020. So things that were supposed to come out this year are now coming out next year. Some things are not coming out at all until the year after. Of course, The Queen's Gambit was something that everyone was talking about, and everyone, all my friends, well, not all my friends, a good a lot of my friends seem to be watching it around the same time that myself and Cara watched it, and I thought it was flipping brilliant. I thought it was an interesting twist to have a show where they've taken the X-Men franchise with Gambit and they've merged it with The Crown. So it's like a cross between, imagine The Crown but in the X-Men universe. So the Queen becomes Gambit, who has magic cards that explode and a staff that she fights with. So the monarchy in England is threatened by blue and purple aliens, and they come down to Earth and try and take over Windsor Castle, and she fights them off. And take that, you fucking aliens! One does not be subjected to alien invasions. Philippe, get my staff. It's time to kick arse. Because she wouldn't say ass, she'd say arse. Not the best Queen impression. No, of course, The Queen's Gambit was a show about the time that the members of Queen went to Las Vegas and bet all of the money and all of their instruments on one roll of the dice at the roulette wheel. 21, you're a winner, Freddie Mercury. I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from my life as an orphan. I'm getting good at chess, but I am a girl. I'm wanting to play chess professionally. So, The Queen's Gambit, wonderful movie. It kind of felt like a movie. It's a limited series on Netflix. Some people are looking for a second season, and they're wrong. It shouldn't have a second season. Just watch the show, enjoy it, and then get on with your lives. Watch something else. It's a sports movie about chess. It's like if you don't know how to play chess, like I know how to play chess, guys. Am I any good? No. Why? Because I haven't played in a long time, okay? I used to play chess when I worked in a meat factory, which is, if it's not a Bruce Springsteen song, then it should be. It's definitely a lyric in a Bruce Springsteen song. Learned how the bishop moved. Diagonally, and the queen could move any which way in the meat factory where I grew up. In my small town, wearing jeans that needed a wash, but I kept on moving in my truck. I learned how to play chess in the canteen of the meat factory I worked in. We played chess for a while. That was the fad. And we'd have, there was one guy in particular who was, he wasn't a professional chess player because he was working in the meat factory, but he'd been playing chess since he was 5 years old. And that's the thing about chess. If you've been playing it for a long, long time, the longer you play it, just the better you get at it. You learn the moves and whatever. And he would defeat me and, it'd take him less than 10 minutes. At the beginning, he'd defeat me in a couple of moves, basically, 3 or 4 moves. And I'd be like, what? And of course, that would teach me not to make those moves. And then it got to a point where we were, leaving the chess board. We'd have to go home, basically. So we'd have games that would last a couple of days. And kept playing. And then I eventually beat him in a game of chess, and that felt like a real achievement for me, a 20-something-year-old man. No, I think I wasn't even 20. I was 19. I was still in my teens, baby. Thank you for that information. Sorry, I saw that you were there, baby, so I said I'd give you the information. Thanks very much. I'm only a baby, though. I can't really process that information. You're quite the accent there. Are you from the Midlands?
Yes, I'm a Midlands baby.
Whereabouts in the Midlands are you from?
Ballycumber.
Ballycumber.
Yes, Ballycumber.
It's a nice little spot, isn't it?
No.
It's not.
No, it's terrible.
So, do you know how to play chess?
No, no one's ever learned me.
No, it's teach.
No one's ever done that either.
All right, baby. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, enjoy the rest of your podcast.
I will. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Great. So I didn't. I wasn't defeating the Russian Grandmaster, and I felt like jazzed up. So I can only imagine how the Queen's Gambit character, whose name I can't remember, even though I've watched the show. But, I mean, I remember bits of it. I remember it's very good. And it is one of those things where, kind of like The Last Dance, which, again, another highlight of the year. Highlight of the year! The Last Dance, which is about when Michael Jordan quit basketball and said, I'm going to become a professional ballet dancer. And everyone was like, that's crazy. You've dominated the sport of basketball, but you can't dominate the world of ballet. You're graceful, of course, and your pirouettes are, without equal. But please, Mr. Jordan, just make this animated basketball move me. Move me? Move me to a bigger house. The Simpsons. Actually, as I'm recording this, today is the anniversary of, again, highlight of my life, but not the year. The Simpsons is 31 years old, which is incredible. It's the longest running television show in history. How long has it been running? It's been running so long, I don't even watch it anymore, but it's still going. And the first episode, of course, was when Santa's Little Helper came into it. Homer was working at Christmas. He was like a Christmas in-store Santa. And then he went to the dog track and was betting on the dogs and lost. And then Santa's Little Helper came up and was like, oh yeah, the owner's like, you dumb dog, you should have won money for me. And now, because you haven't won money for me, you have absolutely no value whatsoever. And Homer's like, I'll have the dog. And takes the dog. So, yeah, The Last Dance, of course, is about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls and their last big season. Did they win? Did they not? I mean, that's kind of, by the time you get to the end of the episodes and the end of that series, it kind of doesn't really matter if they win or if they lose. It's more about the journey. Hashtag deep thoughts. But it is a fascinating thing. Like, I'm not a basketball man, but I appreciate a good story well told. And there is something about that world, and there's something about characters who are exceptional and have that extra, whatever it is, that oomph, that extra, if you want to call it a soul, call it a soul. If you want to call it the other, that extra special spice that other people don't have. Because it's one thing to be determined, it's one thing to work hard, which is absolutely what Michael Jordan was. He was, the most exceptional, the most hardest working. But even with that, you got to have something. You got to get that extra little bit of sauce, that extra little bit of spice. Yum, yum, yum. So yeah, Last Dance and Queen's Gambit were definitely the two best shows that I watched this year. And third best, The Boys. The Boys is great. Oh yeah, and The Mandalorian, very enjoyable. Yeah. I mean, I won't talk about The Boys that much. It's on Amazon. It's an adaptation of a graphic novel. And The Boys is like genuinely made me laugh and genuinely surprising. It's the only show I watch where I've kind of gone, I don't know what's going to happen next. And not in a kind of there's no structure to it. There is a great structure to it. And there are bits that you think this is going to happen, and it does, or it's building up to something, but equally it takes like left turns, mostly left, but also right and centre. And it's very genuinely surprising. And that's very hard to pull off in a show. Mandalorian, less surprising, very kind of effortless. And when something's done very well and has a lot of thought, and it's very well structured, and it just makes it look easy. It makes it look easy. Anyway, listen, I'm going to take a short little break, and we'll be back after this. So if you want to hit those skip buttons, you do it maybe 4 times, or you could just let the ads play, and you don't have to buy what they're selling. But if you want to skip, do it after this jingle. And we're back, guys. Listen, it's been a stressful year for everyone. Everyone's been, stressed out to some extent, to greater or lesser extent. Now, one person who is absolutely stressed out at the moment is Tom Cruise, because just the other day, as in literally just yesterday, which was Wednesday, but just, a while back, if you're listening to this in the future. But Tom Cruise had a bit of some would say, no, I wouldn't call it a meltdown, because if you listen to the audio, yeah, he's pissed off, he's angry, but when you listen to the whole clip of him giving out, he, by the end of it, has sort of calmed down a little bit. He's still effing and blinding, but he's calmed down a bit. And what it was that Mission Impossible 7, big, massive production. They're shooting in England at the moment. They've been shooting around the world. It's been kind of paused because of COVID. I think there was a couple of crew members were confirmed to have it, and then it shut down for a couple of weeks, and it's back up again. But Tom Cruise spotted crew members not social distancing. I don't know what they were doing, hugging each other, licking each other, and just, exclaiming, we're doing Mission Impossible. Yum, yum, yum. You taste great. So do you. I don't feel so good. Oh no, Tom's going to fire us. But now I won't play the clip, because you can listen to the clip. Maybe I'll play a little bit of the clip.
I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it. No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education.
So, I mean, he's saying here, and like he is the producer on this movie. The only way he can do these death-defying stunts is if he's the producer. So he doesn't have to answer to a producer. He just has to answer to himself. So he's doing his best to make these movies and not get killed making them, which would really fuck up the whole thing. And he's saying, here's what he said: "We are the gold standard. They're back there in Hollywood making movies right now because of us, because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every fucking studio at night, insurance companies, producers, and they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you motherfuckers. I don't ever want to see it again. Ever." And, in some cases when I saw this story, like some of the headlines kind of, they can differ. And it can change your perception of this story, which, I mean, look, that's just the media, right? Fake news. But it is interesting to see how, like, some headlines are Tom Cruise expresses concern about COVID regulations being broken on his movie set. And then others are Tom Cruise unleashes monster rant in angry tirade at unexpected COVID breach. And then apparently people have quit now because he ranted at them. But what he's saying is that Hollywood is looking at them and saying, they're doing it. Why can't we do it like Mission Impossible 7? If they're doing it and they're doing it safely and no one's getting sick, then why can't we do it? And everyone's going, well, I suppose if Tom Cruise and them are doing it correctly, then we'll greenlight your movie. So maybe, he's look, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's probably scared. Tom Cruise is scared because, this is the year of absolute devastation in the arts. I know lots of people, myself included, who've had all of their work gone, and we're all just trying to, claw our way through, trying to earn whatever we can do here and there. Setting up wonderful Patreon pages, chock full of extra content that you can access, right now for as little as €3 a month. And all those things are happening. And there's stress on everyone, and there's stress on Tom Cruise. Guys, it's been quite the whirlwind of a year. And I have a very special guest who has agreed to come on. Now, he's a very busy man, and I'm only going to have him on for a few minutes, but I'm just delighted that, it's quite a coup. I think Graham Norton was trying to get him on his show, but he couldn't manage to get him. But I've somehow managed to nab him. So, coming in, talking to him via his wonderful technical marvel of a workshop in the North Pole. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Santa Claus. Can you hear me?
Yes, hello Ed. Hello.
Santa. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
No, it's just Santa.
Sorry?
You said Santa. It's just Santa Claus. Just one Santa. There's only one,
Well, yes, I'm sorry. Well, technically there's only one, but there are quite a lot of pretenders to the throne, if you will.
Yes. Well, I can't be everywhere.
Okay, you've got a little bit of an accent, which I didn't expect.
Yes, it's just the North Pole twang.
The North Pole twang, and it's not... you sound a little bit like you're from the Midlands, like where I'm from.
Well, that's probably just your own ears hearing that.
Yeah, I'm hearing it with my own ears, but you're from the North Pole?
Well, I'm from Lapland originally.
Lapland, and is that? Where is that now?
It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. But where would it have been? I suppose is the question.
Well, it's gone completely off the maps. It's just like...
Is it like a Soviet Union type thing?
Yes, that'll do.
So it is like that?
Yes, why not?
Okay, so Santa, how are things up in the North Pole?
Oh, it's a very busy time of year. I've got lots of elves. Of course, I have Larry, the tech elf, helps me with all my Zoom calls.
Of course, because you haven't been able to appear in supermarkets, which I know you love to do.
Yes, there's nothing I love more than going around the world and sitting inside of a shopping centre or shopping mall, as they call them in the United States, and have all the children come in and tell me what they want, even though they've written letters. I still enjoy them coming in and reiterating what they want that they've already written in a letter and sent it to me.
Yeah, and you have, quite the staff up there.
Yes, quite an amount of staff. I have, of course, the postal office staff. I have the elves that work in the factory itself making all the toys. And then I have I've had to expand over the years, of course, as technology has advanced.
You kind of sound more like a posh English person now.
Oh, well, I have been so well travelled over the years that of course, I've adopted many different types of accents, many flavors. I'm kind of a Neapolitan sort of Santa, if you will.
Well, that's just like 3 flavors.
Yes, but when you mix them all together, you get Santa Claus. That's what I'm saying.
That doesn't make any sense. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
Now, Santa, I tell you what I do enjoy about Christmas.
What's that, Ed?
Well, I'll tell you.
What's that, Ed?
Well, I'll tell you. Your accent's changed. It keeps changing. Anyway, I love Christmas sandwiches.
Christmas sandwiches? What's that?
It's the sandwiches that are pre-packed, pre-made that you get in supermarkets all throughout the Christmas period. You never get them at any other time of year. I'm talking about your turkey, cranberry, stuffing. Like normally with Christmas sandwiches, you have them after Christmas Day, on Stephen's Day or Boxing Day, or as they call it in America, the day after Christmas Day.
Yes.
You have all the leftovers.
Oh, yes, we have so many leftovers up here in the North Pole. We have so much leftover goose. You wouldn't believe it. We've got goose coming out of our ear holes.
Okay, a lot of geese up there, yeah?
So much geese. They threaten to take over. We have to cull them every year. Every year, an elf has goose blood on their hands.
Okay, that's kind of disturbing there.
Well, this is reality, Ed.
I guess so, yeah. So you have like a Christmas pre-packed sandwich. Maybe it's not as good as the kind of after Christmas leftover because the turkey and the stuffing and the cranberry sauce has had time to kind of ferment and get a little bit more tasty. It's like when you marinate something overnight, it tastes much better the day after. Do you like Christmas sandwiches?
I love them. Of course I love Christmas sandwiches. The only thing I don't like about Christmas is Brussels sprouts.
Me neither.
I find them to be disgusting. So do I. I think they're tiny little cabbages, and they smell like farts, and they taste like farts.
I think that as well.
Well, we really do have a lot in common.
A lot in common is what I said. I think you said a lot of common. Well, correcting Santa Claus won't get you on the nice list. Oh, really? Am I on the nice list or on the naughty list?
Well, no, you're on the nice list, of course.
And did you get my letter?
I did, Ed, I did.
And am I going to get my stuff?
You're not going to get a PS5, I'm sorry.
But I want one.
I'm sorry, my technical Japanese elves can't make them fast enough.
Oh, Santa. Will I get a surprise?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, I can't tell you that. It wouldn't be a surprise.
Is it a PS5?
No. It's a PS5 box. An empty box with no PS5 in it.
What do you mean?
Well, won't that be surprising? You'll wake up, you'll unwrap the wrapping paper, and you'll go, it's a PS5. And then you'll open it up, and it's just a big George Foreman grill.
Oh.
You'll be able to have those Christmas sandwiches toasted.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of nice. Anyway, listen, Santa, thanks so much for coming on the show. Be safe when you're out there traveling the world, giving presents to all the kids.
Oh, I will. Don't worry about that. I work alone and distant from everyone. Just make sure everyone puts as much antibacterial gel as they can find down the chimney on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I will. So, guys, that's the end of the show. Thanks very much to Santa Claus for coming on. Thanks to you for listening. And I've got a ho-ho go. Yeah, it's a pun. Bye. Salmon of knowledge, just a 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 salmon of knowledge, salmon of knowledge podcast.